Recycling means different things to different people. It can be a simple ego boost or the fruition of a genuine desire to protect the environment. There are many reasons why people recycle, but how they recycle is just as important. The Ada Recycling Center processes only the following products: cardboard, paper, aluminum cans, tin cans, and plastic bottles. There are not a lot of rules governing local recycling practices, but there are a few guidelines that, if followed, will help ensure the entire operation is worthwhile to the city and ultimately its residents. Cardboard is fairly easy to collect and bale, and there is a strong demand for it. There are only a few guidelines cardboard recyclers need to know about their part of the process. Number 1 is to place cardboard only in the clearly marked standalone blue dumpsters. Number 2 is to break down the boxes whenever possible. A box can be broken down by opening both ends of it and flattening it. During the breakdown procedure, the recycler should also remove any styrofoam or other non-cardboard filler. This filler, known as a contaminant in the recycling process, can simply be thrown in the garbage. Removing these contaminants from the recycling stream is perhaps the most important part to improving the entire process. The Ada Recycling Center also accepts paper. Paper takes less time to bale than any other recyclable product, usually less than 20 minutes per bale. Recyclable paper can be newsprint, catalogs, magazines, white or office paper, and paper sacks. It is not necessary to separate the paper types before bringing it all to the recycling bin. Like cardboard, the most important step is removing contaminants from the paper bundle. Paper itself does not contain many contaminants. In most cases, the contaminant is usually a disposable plastic sack the recycler has used to hold the paper. This type of plastic is known as film and cannot be recycled by the city of Ada. A good place to recycle plastic bags is Walmart. The city of Ada also recycles aluminum and tin cans. It's important to keep these separate as they have separate destinations on the recyclable market. As a rule of thumb, aluminum cans are softer and consist almost entirely of drinking vessels such as soda and beer cans. Tin cans are more rigid and usually have to be opened with a can opener. These usually contain foods, although sometimes they will contain drinks such as juice or concentrated milk. Empty aluminum and tin cans should contain no contaminants. Even the paper labels glued to the outside of tin cans are acceptable. Again, the main thing a recycler should remember is to simply keep the aluminum separate from the tin. Like with paper, any kind of film holding the collected cans, such as a plastic grocery bag, cannot be recycled. The final product the Ada Recycling Center accepts is plastic bottles, but only if the Plastics Industry Trade Association has labeled them as number 1 or number 2. Number 1 describes polyethylene containers, usually soda and water bottles. Number 2 refers to a more high-density polyethylene container used for items such as laundry detergent, shampoo, and milk. There is no need to wash out a container or to remove the lid before recycling it. The key when sorting plastics is to look at the number inside the recycling arrows on the bottom of the container. If the number is anything other than 1 or 2, it cannot be recycled in Ada. If the item is a piece of plastic other than a bottle or jug, regardless of its number, it cannot be recycled in Ada. Contaminants appear more in the plastics recycling process than in any other. There are several reasons for this. Many people are under the wrong impression that the recycling center accepts all types of plastics and will toss items such as plastic plates, plastic cutlery, and plastic cake pans into the bins. These items ultimately have to be removed by hand during the recycling process. Another contributor to the high contaminant rate in plastics is the prevalent use of films such as garbage bags to collect the empty bottles. Instead of throwing a plastic bag full of bottles into the bin, recyclers should empty the bottles into the bin and then throw the bag into the garbage. A good tip is to avoid using plastic bags to collect recyclable items altogether. Again, if it's the type of small plastic bag used by Walmart, it can be recycled there. A good way to positively impact the environment and improve the efficiency of the city's recycling process is to avoid disposable plastic bottles in the first place. Try using a water filter at home or a reusable mug or cup for a drinking vessel. Plastic bottles are bulky and resistant to decay, and because of the high amount of contaminants, plastics are also the most time-consuming to sort and bundle, averaging around 6 hours per bale. Recycling is an important city service. It keeps a significant amount of refuse out of the city landfill, the space of which must be maximized to keep sanitation costs down. Most importantly, it prolongs the life of the precious natural resources that current and future generations must share. By recycling the proper way and improving the local process, both of these goals can be more easily met.